Hi all, to all my fellow homeschoolers, to everybody who wants to homeschool, who's thinking about homeschooling, and who might be a little apprehensive about homeschooling, this video is for you. I want to just take a moment and just discuss a little bit about how I do things, the schedule I use, a brief introduction about the law. Every state has a different law that you have to follow. So depending on where you live, you would have to look up your local laws. Briefly, with your state law, you only want to do the bare minimum of what they ask of you. A lot of the homeschool associations have been fighting for many years for our rights to homeschool and to have the freedoms to homeschool. So you don't want to give these people more than what they ask for. For example, in Pennsylvania, where I'm from, you need to sign an affidavit in front of a notary that states who you are. I'm the one teaching, so I have to be the one to sign it. I have to submit a curriculum of what I'm teaching. Now, you have to follow your state law with, the math, English, that sort of thing. There are requirements that you have to follow. But with homeschooling, you have a lot of freedom. You have a lot of freedom to teach things you believe in, things you're interested in. And you also have the freedom to kind of go with your child's or children's learning capabilities and how you want to do that. So like I said, I got to submit all that at the beginning of the year. I have to promise to 180 days out of the year. Now, I probably homeschool more than that. When I think about homeschooling, I think about learning, daily life. I, at 43 years old, still learn every single day. And I think about, since starting homeschooling, I have been learning along with my children. And I think that's what it's all about. You should be learning with your children. It's important. And I always make a comment when I'm homeschooling or talking to other homeschoolers or just people in general. Because you get asked, well, you don't have a teaching degree. You don't know what you're doing. How do you know what you're doing and what you're teaching? And I think it's important for kids to see the parent or adult not understand something. If they ask me a question and I don't know it, I'm going to show that, I'm a human being. I don't know everything, and how to find that answer. So I think it's very important to show kids that, it's okay to not know something, but how do you figure it out? How do you find out the answer? And that's the key. Because no matter how old you are, you're not going to know everything. And I'm sure most of you out there don't remember half of what you learned in high school or elementary school. We don't use a lot of what we learn in high school or elementary school. So I think one of the great things about homeschooling is being able to teach our children things that they're actually going to use in life. For example, I like baking and I like cooking. So I like to incorporate those things in my homeschool. And you think about the subjects that could be covered within baking and cooking. You're using math, you're using addition, you're subtraction, multiplying, dividing, all that. within using a recipe. It's following directions. It's reading directions. There's science involved. How the chemistry between two chemicals react with each other to make a cake rise or a bread rise. So there's so much involved while they have fun learning. And that is what is important. You know, sometimes sitting at a desk, listening to the monotone teacher up in the front of the class talking to 30 kids, you know, you zone out. Kids zone out. It's boring. It's not interesting. They're not engaged. They're not having fun. They don't really care one way or the other. You know, they might be doing well in their studies because they have to do well in their studies. You know, and being forced to do well and wanting to do well is two different things. So I try to have them have a good time while they are learning, and that is what's important in life. So back to the law of Pennsylvania. Now, like I said, I have to teach 180 days, but obviously I believe that's every single day. I'm teaching every single day. You as a parent are teaching every single day, whether you realize it or not. And it's what is important. You're teaching what's important. Life skills, manners, ethics, morals, all that you're teaching. And hopefully teaching by example. At the end of the year, I have to visit a licensed evaluator, and they go over all my children's schoolwork and talk to them and look at what they've done throughout the year, and they sign off on whether or not they have seen and witnessed that they have completed the appropriate schoolwork for the year. So we all get together and we have these evaluations at the end of the year. And there's a lot of groups out there, evaluating groups, that get together and do this. Like, we have a picnic, and all the kids, homeschool kids, get together and play and eat together. And so it's a nice time to meet other homeschoolers and have the kids meet other homeschooled kids. So they, you know, they're not alone. You know, there's so many homeschoolers out there. And it seems the homeschool population is just rising, especially with this pandemic of late last year. People started to witness what their kids were learning in school. They began to see the indoctrinations that they were teaching. The critical race, erasing history, all the propagandas that are just ridiculous and politicized and should not be forced upon our children. Our kids should be learning true history, because without the knowledge of true history, we're all doomed to repeat it. So that's, you know, of course, when you're little and in school, you don't understand the importance of learning history. Nobody really liked it in school. Just another subject that you should try to make fun for your kids, because it is important to learn our history. Not just American history, but world history. It's very important. Without that understanding, you don't understand what's going on in the world. And you have a lot of blind people out there following because they do not understand history. But that's another subject for another day. So that's about it. You know, I submit all this paperwork to the local superintendent's office, and that's about it. And I don't do more, I don't do less. I do what the law asks me to do, and that's all I do. Now, for my daily routine, you know, it switches from year to year, sometimes day to day. It's a learning experience. I've been homeschooling a good 10 plus years, and I've graduated 2 kids already, so maybe I know a little bit of what I'm doing. But sometimes, you don't think or feel like you know what you're doing. It can be a tough thing, especially when you have multiple age ranges. Somehow I always seem to have a baby on my hip. As like this year, I am teaching 5 kids on the books, and we have a toddler in preschool and a baby. So, I always seem to have that baby on the hip. And that was always, a difficult task to juggle. But I made it work, and we made it work, and obviously the kids still learned. Now this year I have a pretty decent schedule going on. I have my husband to help me. He helps out teaching the preschooler, our 4-year-old, and helping with the baby, while I do individualized attention with each one of my other children. It's very important. It's very important to have that individualized attention. Last year, a couple years ago, I split my class up into elementary age and then middle school, high school age. Now it works fine for the middle school and high school kids because they're pretty independent. They don't really need me to babysit them too much. But my elementary school students obviously need that one-on-one attention. And with various ages, I had to figure out a way to give them that individualized attention. And there's only so many hours in a day. But thankfully, you don't really need a 6-hour day to accomplish things. So I split the day up. We all come out in the morning. We have an opening, we discuss our day, we talk about the day and the date and the time, and kind of give everybody a little refresher course of the day. We might read a little class story or read a poem, something to that effect. Obviously, then we do the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we can move about our day. I start with one child in the classroom, working on our English, language arts, reading, writing, them sort of subjects. And then while I'm doing that with one child, another child is on the computer doing their math work. And then we kind of switch off. While I'll do the studies with that kid, I will then, the one I was just working with, will go onto the computer. After lunch, we all come together again and we do kind of a class topic. Now this class topic will range in subjects as far as social studies, science, history, those kind of subjects. So we'll kind of do a broad topic and do age-appropriate lessons or activities with them during that time period. And then once that activity is over, then I will focus on my high school students before dinner. So that's basically our day. It seems to be working out. We're 3 weeks into school, official school, and it seems to be working well. I enjoy what I'm doing so far, and it is a lot of work. Every 2 weeks, I kind of do a lesson plan to get an idea of what I'm doing. Now, if I only had 1 or 2 kids to teach, it wouldn't be as difficult. But I think we're doing a good job. I enjoy what I'm doing, and I'm hoping the kids are enjoying it too. And they seem to be learning and thriving as we speak. So, that's my day. That's our day. And I hope that we can keep on going and keep on going and keep on getting better. My schedule might change next year. It may change. I might have to adjust it, but it's learning. So for all of you out there that are struggling or apprehensive, those of you that have a lot of kids or babies and think they can't do this, please know you can do this. It just takes a little bit of dedication. It takes a little bit of trial and error, because that's what it is. It's trial and error, and you're going to do fine. We have to adjust to that. Your kids are learning, and you'll find a way. So don't give up. So I thank you for watching. I hope this helped any homeschoolers that's already homeschooling, or that those of you that want to. All right, so till next time, I'm out.